Alright YouTubes, how we doing? Thanks for all the lovely comments that people have been saying about the jobs we're doing. It's yeah, it's really nice. I'm really surprised that people like it, to be honest with you. So we're just gonna keep carrying on what we're doing and try and improve them. I really like to sort of take the time and effort in the editing, even though it's so time consuming, to make them, you know, to make the videos look better. But we'll get there. I'm learning all the time and trying to make improvements all the time. So yeah, so I'll show you what this little job that I'm going to do now. We've got a lot of stuff on at the moment. It's all gone a bit silly. I'm up to my neck in it really. So this job that I'm going to do here, I've never worked on one of these. I didn't even know what they really were. I never really paid any attention to these cars. It's an Infiniti. Can't tell you what model. I'll have to have a look what the model is. What is the model? Oh, it's a Q30. So yeah, on this job, just doing a bumper corner, the little trim piece and this little wheel arch trim here. So I've just realised, taking that trim out, this trim's just coloured plastic, black, and the car's metallic black. And so is this wheel arch moulding, which is a bit of a pain. They're just black plastic, so I'm just going to have to try and match the colour as best I can on that. So I never noticed it. Typical, I looked at the job in the rain, as you do. They love coming down for estimates when it's raining. And yeah, if you look at that, it's completely different colours to the body. So I've put the camera on it and we'll find something that's close to that, and I'll have to paint it. Is what it is. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on this job, and yeah, a bit of an update on what we've got on at the moment. So I showed an Mercedes SL 500 that was in the Volkswagen Up video. We're quite far ahead on that now. That's all painted. It's been quite a bit of work to do on that, a bit of rust, and painted both sides on the car and a couple of new wings on it. So yeah, I've got plenty of footage of that, but yeah, we're not, till I get that sort of finished. That should be fitted up this week. So we've got that on the go. We've got another Aston Martin on the go. It's quite a bit of work on that. It's a Vantage, this one. Front and back bumper, bonnet, a little crash on the front of the wing, and they're fiberglass wings on this Vantage. So a bit of a fiberglass repair. But they're such a pain to strip. Honestly, the bumpers, it took Reese. It probably took Reese about, in hours wise, it took him a day and a half. In hours wise, it took him about 12 hours to strip it. And some of the stuff you just can't get off. It's just crazy. Like to get the chrome off of the wing, you got to take. It looks like you have to take the door off, and oh, they're just crazy to work on, body wise, to take apart. But yeah, we've had to sort of take it all apart really. The bumpers had to come off. The sort of mesh grills were all rusty and they wanted them re-blacking, and so yeah, a bit of a pain. But it's last strips now, so we'll get on with that, repairing and prepping that this week hopefully. So yeah, just this little bumper scuff to do today. Reese is stripping. We've got a new bumper to go on a 3 Series saloon, so Reese is just stripping that now. Just paint a new bumper in Alpine white, and yeah, and we've got another little crazy little car. It's rust again. Yeah, we haven't even started it yet. It's a bit of a different one again, to be honest with you. We get a good variety here. It's a little Daihatsu Copen. So yeah, a bit of rust on the wheel arches and a few other bits, but I'll go through all that when I do the video of it. So yeah, that's all the stuff we got on at the moment. So yeah, it's busy, and just need to crack on. So we just need to get these little daily jobs out of the way so we can get on with. Yeah, just got a load of strip and fitting. We've got cast stripped parts everywhere, and it gets on top of me when all the parts start accumulating, and I see boxes and tubs and you know, parts lead everywhere. I start pulling my hair out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we'll get there. We always get there in the end. So yeah, I'll get set up. I'm doing this one in the booth, which I'm not happy with. I know people might comment about prepping and sanding in the booth, but I'm limited on space, and if I can't find space in this last resort, then I will do a bit in here. I won't start doing like major prepping in here, but small stuff, you know, I'll do it. But I set up my little, instead of bringing all the extraction machine in here, I just plug my pipes into a little emery, because an emery can cope with it, no problem. So I do a bit of dust extraction, and I do make sure I'm conscious of not blowing dust around in here everywhere. But I'm not happy with doing it myself, you know, prepping in the booth. But there shouldn't be any filler work, or it might be minor on this. So it'll just be a bit of sanding, and yeah, and I'll have the extraction on, and I do get everything cleaned off, you know, cleaned afterwards. I keep it minimal and wet scotching. So yeah, I normally wash the dust off with a wet scotch when I do the wet scotching to try and keep the dust down. But yeah, I'm not happy with prepping in here, but sometimes I have to, because I haven't got a lot of space, and we've got stuff everywhere at the moment. So yeah, I'll get all set up and set the camera up and start filming this one. there's always the issue of stone chips everywhere. You know, there's always stone chips on the front bumper, and yeah, different severities, but there's always going to be chips in your area where the damage is, and beyond into your blend areas. So when you're doing a smaller, you know, you're doing half a bumper and you're blending it in, you're not doing the whole bumper or taking it off or anything. You've got to try and find a happy medium really with how far you go with the chips. And I don't like doing it, but you've got to clear coat over some chips, or you've got to put some colour over some chips, because you've got to try and keep it small. You've got to keep your repair area as small as possible really. So what I do, you know, this I'm pretty much doing a whole corner. There's not really a fade out to do, because on here I can use the number plate plinth as a stopping point for my clear coat. I'm not going to colour all of this, and there's chips on this, so I'm not going to colour all this, but I'm pretty much going to colour all of this corner, and I'm just going to blend it here, which is quite handy really, because I haven't got a fade out to do really. So I am going to do chips, but I'm not going to go over the top with it. So I would, you know, if I wasn't 2-pack priming a bumper for chips, because I'd use fine filler like dolphin glaze in the chips. We'd prime the bumper, because you're not going to get every one, and then it sort of highlights it in the primer, and then you can do a bit more dolphin glaze work, fine filler work on the primer then, and rub it down then, and you pretty much catch all of them then. But there's a few chips on this. You're going to see them in the plastic, in the paint. Fine ones really, they're not big chunky ones, so where they're fine, like I say, I'm just going to do a majority of them, and what I'm going to use is, sorry about my dodgy camera work, but what I'm going to use is this 1K stopper. So it's just an air dry, no hardener with it. It's made by Leckler. It's pretty decent. 3M do one. They do like a green putty and a red putty. They're alright as well. They're all pretty much the same. This is quite good though, this one. It dries pretty quick, goes quite hard, and it fills quite well as well. So it does fill them in. They do sink a little bit with 1K, but it takes your eye off of them, and it's just a little bit extra really. Really shouldn't be doing them, or you should, I don't know. I like to do them, so I'm just going to do the majority of fine ones all around this area here and across this bottom, because that's quite a highlighted part of the bumper, where it sort of comes out at the bottom. That gets chippy quite a lot because it's low down, and it shows. So when you base coat and lacquer it, or just lacquer that, highlights them, because your finish has got all them dimples in where it's sat in them. So I'm just going to give them a smear over, let it dry. You're probably going to see them a little bit afterwards, but it takes your eye off them, and just that little bit extra really, to make it look a bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick some of this on it. You literally just smear it in. And I'm going to wipe it over, wipe it off. Wipe it over and then wipe it off, it's sort of gone in the chip. And then just put a little bit over the top, keep it tight. The only thing with these sorts of 1K stoppers is if you put it in too thick, they don't dry properly. You can sort of wipe it over an area if you think there's a chip there, because sometimes they're hard to see. You can see the chip. And I'm just going to do what I see. I'm not going to go mad with it. So you can see the chips there now, and then just put a little bit extra over the top. So it's thin-ish, and then it'll dry quick. But these are quite good. This Leckler one's all right. I've done some chips with it, and it's been all right. Not a great deal on this bumper, to be fair. Also, I want to capture ones where the scuffing was, because that's the area that people are going to look. I'm trying to do this while I'm holding it. camera's a little bit tricky. Sometimes you wipe it on thinking there's a chip there and there ain't. A little bit of a lightish scratch there. But yeah, this stuff's pretty good. The 3M one's pretty good. But I do prefer this Leckler one, to be honest. It's yeah, it's decent. It's good for putting over before you're going to prime something, you know. So like if you did prime a bumper all over with chips, and then you see a couple just before you're going to prime, if you put it on first and then put primer over it, it's yeah, they don't seem to sort of reappear. It doesn't sink that much, doesn't shrink back that much and stuff. For a 1K products, pretty decent. Hello. Here's Reese. Back again. Has that got any chips in it, is it?
Yeah, a few.
Let's see that.
One at the end.
The Infiniti's all masked up now, ready to paint, so I'll show you that. So it's all masked up, ready to paint, and then just put a little bit of paper around. So I'm going to just put a little bit of primer on this. So the primer I'm going to put on, I put a little bit of adhesion promoter on the bare plastic. So it's Mipa Haft promoter, it's called, in an aerosol can. So I'll just fluff a bit of that on there, and then I'll put 2 coats of water-based high build primer. So it's Mipa 1K WBS, I think it's called, 1K water-based primer in dark grey, and I'll put a bit on that. And I have spoke about this primer before on previous videos. It's good stuff. So Grundy filler, it's called 1K Grundy filler WBS, and I leave it in a PPS, well RPS. No, it's a PPS. It's still in a PPS. So I leave it in that, and I just put it straight on the gun. Couple of coats, clean the gun out, and it's ready to go again. Just stays, keep the filter wet, and it stays wet. And I put it in an old HVLP 3000. So yeah, I'll get some primer on, get that dried off. I'll dry it off with a hairdryer or the blow gun. Now I can start sorting out the 2 colours. Well, I've got to do 2 colours on this. So I'll get this on my head and get some primer on there. So the Infiniti's all ready now, ready to go. Sanded down that little bit of primer, a little bit of 1K water-based primer, that's sanded. It's all degreased, tacked off and blown off and all ready to go. So I thought, I looked with a light on, I thought the mouldings were like a black plastic colour, and the car was, I thought it was a like a black pearl or black metallic, you know, with just a slight metallic in there. Probably just catching dust off of the light. I just assumed that. So I scanned both. I scanned the wing and I scanned the trim, because I thought the trim was a slightly different black. You know, if the car was a different colour, it would still have black trims. But I thought it would look odd, but that's what I assumed. So I scanned it and then put it through the system against Infiniti, and it came up with the colour code that's on the car. And it also did for the, well, it didn't at first, because I was scanning metallics, it was picking other colours. So then I put in the colour code, which is a Nissan colour code, into the system. I know this is getting a bit complicated now, isn't it? I've overcomplicated it, that's what it is. So I put the colour code into the system under Infiniti, and it came up as a solid black. So then I checked on the scan images of the trim and the wing that I scanned, where the bumper is, and yeah, it picked out that colour code under solid colour. So it's a solid colour, and the trims are the same colour as the car. It's just they're really out. So I just assumed that they were a different colour, if you see what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm probably boring you now. So it's ready to go. It's only one colour that's got to go on there, not two. I'm putting the same colour on the trim as I am on the bumper. So it's simpler now. So yeah, I'm all ready to go. Get me hood up. And I think a couple of people may have asked that to talk about my gun setups and what I'm doing. So this is straight black, but I'm doing it in water based, in base coat, and where it's a small little bumper repair, I'm doing it with a MIniJet HVLP 4400B. I've got a 1.2 SR setup on this, and I have it full fan. I have everything full fan unless I'm trying to get into an area. I do on Saturday anyway, because they don't really have dead zones. So yeah, full fan, full fluid, and it'd be 2 bar. still on? Am I still on? We're still on. I'm going to keep it rolling. It's in real time, this one. Right, so I'm going to use Mipa CX4 on this, which is their... Oh no, don't want that. Which is their fast dry and their air dry, I suppose. It's great for jobs like this. So it's 2 to 1. My keyboard is pants. So on Mipa, if you set the temperature, you can set the temperature and it chooses the hardness. So they name them as slow, medium, fast, but what they say is you use them depending on the time of the year and the temperature. So you can do big jobs with the fast and you can do small jobs with the slow, depending on that temperature range. So it's winter now, so 10 to 15, and it selects the hardener then for you. So yeah, it works slightly different because even though this is fast drying, on the application side it stays open for a while, and then it's got a really fast like closing window, I suppose you'd call it. I don't even know if that's such a thing. I might have just made that up, but yeah, once it stays open for a while, and then all of a sudden it starts curing really quick. And they're both like that. The CX4, you can do big jobs with this, and you can do small little repairs and smart repairs with it as well. You can put the slow hardener in this, so it makes it, you know, I suppose you get a bit better, bit of a flatter finish with it with a slower hardener. But I like doing everything on the scales, clear coat, primer and all that. I'm just going to go over actually because I forgot about the little trim. And then this is the rapid hardener for it, which you can do complete panels with. You can do a couple of panels together, or even a side. It does go off really quick. Like I say, I might have said before in the previous videos, it's just got a really short polishing window. If you're not polishing it within a day or so, then yeah, it's a struggle, and it is a struggle to polish. It's a struggle to nib. Come on. So gun wise, getting a MIniJet. So 4400B, this is an RP, and again this has got a 1.2 SR setup. The SR stands for spot repair. I've never really tried any other setups because I only really use it for that, so could do a whole panel with it. The fan's good, and again I probably like, so that's how I set my gun. You can feel resistance there on the trigger, so I call that full, and then I'd probably do half a turn in. And 2.1 bar probably on this. You can put these up to about 2.5 bar. They're alright. Flies out at that. So yeah, probably 2.1 bar. There we go, this is my first raw video. Well, I ain't going to film cleaning my gun out, so I'll be back in a mo. Coat number 2. On this coat, I'm just going to turn the pressure down to like 1.9. Well, that's the Infiniti all painted, and it's pretty clean. There's a couple of chips here and there that have sunk, which is expected. So I'll get it demasked, give it a little polish around the adjacent panels, and then just got a little bit of touch up to do, and that'll be the job finished. That's the Infiniti finished. I'll give you a quick look. Yeah, it all come out okay. Putting that mould in. We just went round, done a little bit of touching up for the guy. So yeah, pretty straightforward job. Not sure on these cars whether I like them or not. They're just like a Mercedes, really. I've done a little bit of research into them, and I don't think you can buy them in the UK anymore. And they're based, this model's based on the A class, I think. So, and yeah, it's a Nissan luxury brand. So yeah, bit of a parts bins car, I think. I'm not sure. They seem okay though. I do quite like them. They're different. And yeah, it just feels just like a Mercedes really inside. So I don't know what they are price wise. If they're sort of similar price to a Mercedes, you're probably going to buy a Mercedes, aren't you? But yeah, something I've never worked on. I've never worked on an Infiniti before, so yeah, something a bit different. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.